Right? Let me just say it, Coronation Street next week is going to be messy. We've got a stolen car tearing through Weatherfield, a shocking hit and run that leaves one of our favorites fighting for their life, and a pregnancy mystery that's about to rip through the Platts household. Honestly, this is the kind of week where you'll want a cuppa in hand, because there's no way you'll be sitting still through all this. It feels like we're back in proper classic Corrie territory. Secrets bubbling away, family dramas colliding, and danger lurking around every corner. And at the center of it all, the younger lot making choices that could ruin lives. So, let's get into it. I'll break down the 3 biggest spoilers you need to know about for next week. From Monday the 8th through to Friday the 12th of September. Spoiler 1. Betsy's birthday and Lisa's shock. We start with Betsy Swain, who's turning 18. Now, birthdays on the street are rarely straightforward, are they? Instead of balloons and cake, we're getting awkward confessions, a toast to the past, and then chaos none of us saw coming. Betsy kicks off her big day already looking a bit fragile. She's been out all night, living it up like only a teenager can. When she gets back for her party, the drinks are flowing, mates are around, and she even raises a toast to her late mum Becky. That moment alone will tug at the heartstrings, because however rebellious Betsy can be, it shows how much she misses her mum. But then comes the bombshell. Betsy blurts out to Lisa that she spent the night with Dylan Wilson. Yes, Dylan. The same Dylan who's been knee-deep in trouble for weeks now. Lisa's face says it all, part shock, part disappointment, and part sheer worry about the road her daughter's on. Later that night, Betsy's out leaving voice messages for both Lisa and Dylan. You know when you can sense something bad's about to happen? That's exactly the vibe. And sure enough, before she can finish talking, we hear the sickening crash. Here's the thing. We don't know straight away whether Betsy's directly involved in that accident or if she's a witness. But what we do know is Lisa will be left completely floored the next day. Imagine it. The morning after your daughter's birthday, and instead of dealing with hangovers or clearing up empty bottles, you're facing a nightmare that could change everything. And Lisa has always come across as one of the steadier heads on the street. She's a copper, she's strong, she's protective. But this is personal, and it might just break her. Bottom line, Betsy's milestone birthday is going to end in anything but celebration. Spoiler 2. Dylan's stolen car drama and the hit and run. Roland Dylan Wilson's story is taking a darker turn by the day. What started as teenage mischief has properly spiraled, and you can't help but feel like he's standing on a cliff edge now. He's always had that streak of wanting to impress, but this time it looks like he's gone too far, and the consequences are going to be brutal. Kevin and Ivy coming back from break should have been a nice moment, but instead they're greeted by the sight of Carl hanging around the garage again. Kev doesn't mess about. He tells him to do one. But the trouble is, Carl doesn't just disappear quietly. He's dragging everyone down with him, and the timing couldn't be worse. The fact Carl's in debt to Tracy Barlow makes it even messier. Tracy always what she wants, and Carl knows it. So instead of sorting himself out properly, he drags Dylan and Brody into his schemes, pushing them into nicking cars to pay her off. It's reckless, and it shows how desperate Carl's got. Before long, Dylan and Brody are behind the wheel of a stolen car, and of course, George Shuttleworth ends up seeing them. You've got to feel for George. He's not someone who likes sticking his nose in, but he knows what he saw. Dylan's attempt to deny it is laughable really, because George isn't easily fooled, and Dylan's guilty face gives the whole thing away. And then comes the crash. That's the bit that really turns your stomach. A stolen car is bad enough, but once someone's been hit and left in hospital, it changes everything. It's not just petty crime anymore. It's life and death. Corrie's done plenty of car drama before, but this has a different edge because it's the younger ones at the heart of it. The panic afterwards is almost as bad as the crash itself. Kit Green confirming the car's been found torched just screams cover up, and it makes you wonder who panicked enough to set it alight. Was it Dylan? Was it Brody? Or was Carl trying to protect himself again? Whoever it was, that fire has just made things 10 times worse. Abby's moment of realization is going to be powerful. The second she sees Dylan's name popping up on Carl's phone, you can picture her expression. She's been there herself. She knows the slippery slope of dodgy deals. And she's fought tooth and nail to keep herself and her family out of trouble. Seeing Dylan tangled up in it is bound to hit her right in the gut. Carl admitting Dylan and Brody have been stealing cars for him feels like a breaking point. Abby isn't going to take that news lightly. She's protective by nature, and the idea of a kid being used like that will bring out all her fire. Viewers will definitely have something to say about that. Abby's one of those characters you just know won't sit back and let this slide. And hanging over all of this is the biggest mystery. Who was actually hit in the crash? Corrie keeping that under wraps is a classic move, because it means we'll all be second, guessing and panicking until the reveal. Imagine if it's someone close to Dylan. Or even Betsy, considering she was out and about that same night. That would be devastating. If it does turn out to be someone connected to Dylan personally, the guilt could eat him alive. He's already struggling to keep his head above water, and this could be that tips him completely over the edge. That's why it feels like such a dangerous turning point. There's no easy way back from this. What really sticks out here is how much Dylan's choices are pulling other characters in. Lisa, Abby, George. They're all going to be dragged into the mess, whether they like it or not. And as much as they might want to save him, he's the one making these decisions. That push and pull between trying to protect him and holding him accountable could spark serious rows. Dylan's not dabbling anymore. He's in the thick of it. The next few weeks could either see him finally pulled back before it's too meant him, as the one who crossed a line he can't uncross. Either way, this is going to keep people talking, and I think we'll all be glued to see how it plays out. Spoiler 3. The Platts pregnancy bombshell. Right, let's talk about the Platts, because if you thought we'd get a week without that family being in the thick of things, you'd be wrong. Next week, we've got a pregnancy test turning up in the most classic Corrie way possible, dumped in the wrong bin. It starts with David brushing off Lily's complaints about a stomachache. He reckons she's just trying to get out of school, and honestly, it feels very David. A mix of sarcasm and impatience. But then Sarah gets wind that Lily's been scrapping with another girl over a lad, and suddenly it's not so easy to laugh off. Then comes the twist. While David's moaning about Carla Connor dumping rubbish in his bin, he stumbles across a pregnancy test. Now, any other soap might let that moment slide, but not Corrie. David immediately jumps to conclusions, assuming it belongs to Betsy. Except Sarah throws in another possibility. What if it's Lily's? That thought alone completely rattles David. You can see it written all over his face, the panic, the disbelief, the absolute refusal to believe his little girl could be in that situation. And here's where it gets tense. Eventually, the real owner of the test comes forward, but not before the idea plants a seed of chaos in the Platt household. Even if it doesn't belong to Lily, the fact David's had to confront the possibility shows just how fragile things are. This storyline has echoes of the past. Viewers might remember the drama when Sarah herself was a pregnant teenager. The way history could be repeating itself, even just in whispers, is enough to send shivers down your spine. And that's what Corrie does so well, pulling the past into the present, making us think about those old storylines we all remember, while throwing in a modern twist. So the question isn't just, who's pregnant? It's what this bombshell is going to do to the Platts as a family. Secrets never stay hidden for long on the street, and once the truth's out, it'll be impossible to contain. So, that's where we are for next week. Betsy's birthday turning into heartbreak, Dylan's stolen car chaos spiraling into a hit and run mystery, and the Platts facing whispers of another teenage pregnancy. It's the kind of week reminds you why we keep coming back to Coronation Street. Messy, emotional, and unmissable. I'll say this, the younger characters are driving the drama right now, but the ripples are hitting everyone around them. Parents, friends, neighbors. Nobody on that cobble is safe from the follow-up. And I think that's what makes it so gripping. We're not just watching isolated stories, we're watching an entire community buckle under the weight of secrets and lies. If you're buzzing for these episodes as much as I am, let me know in the comments. Do you think Dylan can be saved before it's too late? Could Betsy be the one caught up in the hit and run? And what's your guess about that pregnancy test? Is it really what pregnancy test? And make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's spoilers. Trust me, the drama isn't slowing down anytime soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.